Luxury clothes are actually bought by the poor. What do you consider luxury? Is it that James Bond always wears Omega watches? Or that someone wears Louis Vuitton and Gucci bags, Versace shirts, and several $1,000 shoes every day? Of course, these things cost a lot of money, but in reality, this is not what true luxury is. These brands don't target the rich, but rather the average people, and often the poorer segments of society, extracting a lot of money from them. But why do the poor buy luxury goods? Obviously, compared to regular Nike, Prada is luxury, right? Well, yes, because Nike costs around $120, while Prada is around $1,000. However, it's not necessarily the Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, or other highly logoed items that represent true wealth. Luxury items are all products that are not essential to life. So people buy them not because of their functions, but for a completely different reason. Luxury products include clothing from the world's leading designers, designer suitcases and bags, jewelry, watches, or high-end vehicles. But the list is much longer and includes luxury real estate, expensive accessories, and many other things. Well, the most popular segment, fashion. Let's stick to the most popular luxury segment for now, fashion. If you scroll through the Instagram photos of famous people, it seems like many of them are always wearing the most amazing outfits. For some reason, Jennifer Lawrence never appears in cheap outfits. In fact, they often wear clothes that mere mortals cannot easily afford. These expensive fashion items appear not only on celebrities' Instagram pages, but also in movies. For example, James Bond doesn't wear a simple cheap suit on screen. Instead, we see him in Bryony or Tom Ford outfits. And of course, all of them are clearly branded. He's not the only one though. We see many successful characters wearing similarly obvious luxury branded clothes. The stars shove these big logo outfits into their fans' faces to show that the brands they wear are indeed luxury. But in this case, appearances don't fully reflect reality. The illusion of luxury. Many people associate luxury with large, conspicuous logos. That's why a Gucci or Louis Vuitton bag can be spotted from miles away. Therefore, anyone who wants to signal to others that they have piles of money at home chooses such a brand. On the other hand, true luxury is characterized by subtlety and elegance. A Birkin bag, for example, looks much like an everyday handbag, yet it's incredibly expensive. The truly wealthy prefer discreet and exclusive brands. They don't need, or rather, they don't require flashy, heavily logoed items to flaunt their wealth. This way, they can enjoy luxury without signaling to everyone how rich they actually are. For example, Mark Zuckerberg is almost always seen wearing the same gray t-shirt, yet he certainly doesn't have to worry about whether to order pizza at the end of the month. However, this isn't a regular cheap shirt, but a Brunello Cucinelli designer piece made by an Italian designer. A Zuckerberg t-shirt costs no less than $200. So next time you laugh at Zuckerberg for his outfit, remember that just his t-shirt is worth as much as a cheap smartphone. Similarly, Steve Jobs didn't buy his iconic turtleneck sweater from a budget store, but wore a $175 Issey Miyake designer top when he introduced the latest Apple gadgets. True wealth and simplicity. The top 1% of society doesn't buy showy brands. Rather, they opt for products from designers and companies that convey exclusivity without such outward displays. A similar appearance is achieved by classic cut clothing, such as coats, shirts, and trousers, which attract attention through their aura rather than large logos. This type of hidden luxury style has always existed, but nowadays, thanks to celebrities like Sophia Richie-Grainge, it has become even more popular. In fact, this trend has even taken over TikTok. Those who follow this trend believe that while money talks, wealth whispers. But let's get back to the classic luxury fashion brands. Now, their appearance doesn't whisper at all, rather it screams at the top of its lungs. But if the truly wealthy aren't the ones buying these, then who is the main target group? Well, it's those who want to appear rich and are not afraid to wear even tasteless clothing to achieve that image. This kind of luxury often represents, for them, higher social status or financial security, and it allows them to show off almost anywhere. That's why these clothes are especially popular in areas with significant financial inequality. Unfortunately, the target group also includes people who can't even afford basic necessities like food at the end of the month. Compared to that, a Gucci bag is indeed a luxury, but sadly in the worst sense of the word. So, in reality, the lower social classes make up a significant portion of these brands' customer base. These brands tap into people's desire to feel wealthy. These so-called famous luxury brands are built on the psychology of conforming to others. They make their customers define their own value based on how much they can spend on such a product. In fact, many brands, when looking at quality, are simply selling mid-range products, just with a conspicuous logo. So the essence is in the eye-catching appearance, and with that, you can show off your Gucci shirt. Self-confidence, though it may not last long, gets a temporary boost, leading to luxury addiction. More pretend wealth, more imagined success, and more fake luxury, more Gucci bags, and more likes. And let's face it, many people love likes, including us. So if you've enjoyed the video so far, hit that like button. This phenomenon, of course, exists all around the world. For example, in the United States, the total credit card debt of the population in the first quarter of 2023 was $986 billion. This rather high figure suggests that many Americans don't always make decisions based on their optimal financial interests. And when a poor person develops feelings of inadequacy, seeing many successful people around them and what their life could be like, they start buying luxury goods, at least the ones they associate with luxury. But in reality, they'll only end up with even less money. Recently, a study examined Google search trends on this topic. It showed that people living in states with greater financial inequality search for luxury brands much more frequently than others. This proves that greater income disparities lead to increased luxury addiction and logo obsession. Many criticize those living in poorer neighborhoods, asking why they buy Air Jordans or other overpriced sneakers. This phenomenon primarily doesn't have to do with society, but with fitting into and belonging to a specific local group. But this creates a vicious cycle because by living in this illusion, people feel compelled to buy expensive items. And with that, they either spend all their money that could be put to better use, or even fall into debt. Contrary to appearances, you can't simply buy your way into a higher social class like you would buy a plane ticket. It's clear what motivations lie behind the mass purchase of luxury goods. But which age group primarily buys these products? Over time, incredibly expensive fashion items have become increasingly accepted. They've practically become part of our daily lives. They've also appeared online in web shops, and a significant portion of luxury goods trading now takes place in the virtual world. The numbers of one of the world's largest marketplaces for this, The Real, are constantly growing. According to the site, Gen Z accounts for 41% of its 28 million visitors. Research by The Real also found that they start buying on the site much younger than the previous generation. Some say that by 2030, 80% of shoppers will be from Generation Y or younger. This is particularly shocking considering that these young people, on average, have much less disposable income than their parents. The increase in sales is also helped by platforms, installment payments, and credit, meaning shoppers don't have to pay for that coveted piece of clothing right away, so they don't immediately feel the cost. However, the amount of money spent can still be enormous. Unfortunately, rationality often takes a backseat when it comes to luxury goods. A survey found that more than half of Gen Z shoppers admitted to buying such products based on their emotions rather than their logic. In fact, a third of them said that because of this, they had completely lost control of their spending. But why do poorer people pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars for something that, rationally speaking, isn't worth that much? Or, for that matter, something they can't even afford? It's because, like many other companies, luxury clothing stores aren't just selling pants, shirts, and shoes. They're selling the experience. The company creates a pink cloud between the product and the customer, forming a positive emotional connection. In stores, this can be achieved with something as simple as offering a glass of water or tea, but it's also common to escort the customer to a VIP room and this is enough to sweep many people off their feet. Finally, a place where people feel important and special. One step beyond that is the practice of the French luxury brand Hermès, whose customers willingly spend up to $10,000 on unnecessary items just to qualify for purchasing one of their bags. Not because it's reasonably priced, of course. These bags can cost anywhere between $10,000 and $30,000. To maintain such outrageous prices, brands must ensure exclusivity. That's why, in 2017, the brand Burberry destroyed unsold clothes, accessories, and perfumes worth £28.6 million. Financially, they came out of it well because people rushed to buy the new collection due to its exclusivity. Luxury brands can easily generate enough money that even burning unsold clothes isn't an issue. Many of these products aren't expensive because they're premium quality. Rather, they become premium because they're expensive. In fact, sometimes we can't even talk about premium quality, only about the logo and the psychological value associated with the brand. But what about knockoffs? The logic behind them is the same as that of original Louis Vuitton bags. You buy them to show off how rich you are. So if there's a high-quality counterfeit that's also affordable, it could be a perfect hit for those with less money. However, while many people happily buy realistic imitations at a fraction of the price, for most, that's not satisfying enough. Even if a fake Rolex looks exactly like the original, the owner won't wear it with the same positive feeling. Researchers at Yale University conducted an experiment with children on this topic. They created perfect clones of the kids' favorite toys. But the children weren't satisfied with the replicas because the emotional connection to the item wasn't the same. So, even if a fake Balenciaga shirt looks just like the original, the positive feeling will be absent. However, luxury items aren't just for buying. They can also be sold. So you can get some of the money back when selling a used item. Given the high inflation, this isn't such a bad deal. Many people even argue that these accessories can be good investments. While it's true that some bags have significantly increased in value compared to their original price, these cases are exceptions. In reality, luxury fashion items aren't such good investments if you look at the entire market. But how much are these items really worth if you remove the brand label? A 2018 experiment illustrated this phenomenon quite clearly. The Payless shoe store chain launched a brand that appeared to be a luxury shoe line under the name Palessi. But there was a twist. The shoes, sold for around $700, were actually priced at $30.50. They simply convinced everyone that these were luxury brand items. Of course, the store had all the luxurious trimmings to go with it. The real twist came when some influencers fell for the scam. The store manipulated the prices and created a luxurious display, convincing people to buy overpriced, ordinary shoes. So, shoes they could have bought for a few tens of dollars were instead purchased for several hundred, just because they were labeled as luxury. But take another example. Chanel. Their products are made from high-quality materials, and every step of the production process undergoes strict quality control. And every tiny detail of their clothing is handmade. For example, even the sequins and decorative elements are sewn by hand. The wages of these skilled workers are expensive. You might say there are many questionable factories in Asia where children and the poor sew clothes, which is true, but that's not the case here. In addition to this, Chanel's exclusivity is reinforced by famous models frequently photographed in their clothing, celebrities walking the runway in their outfits, and other marketing appearances, all of which require huge amounts of money. And of course, that money comes from the customers. Speaking of money, how big is the luxury fashion industry? The market size is continuously growing, and by 2028, some estimates suggest it could surpass $400 billion. This growth is largely driven by the increasing demand in the Asia-Pacific region, which already accounted for 31% of revenue in 2022. The broader market, including other luxury goods and services, reached $1.5 trillion in 2023. So there's plenty of money in luxury. Would you buy luxury clothes or accessories? Or do you already have a real or fake Gucci bag in your closet? Be brave and share in the comments.